In this episode, we speak with Chen Amit, the co-founder and CEO of Tipalti, the only global payables automation solution to streamline all phases of the accounts payable and payment management workflow in one holistic cloud platform. In 2010, Chen Amit and Orez Zeev created Tipalti to transform global payables with true end-to-end automation that removes the pains and risks of paying suppliers around the world. Tipalti has raised over $700 million from notable investors, including Durable Capital Partners, G Squared, and others. Prior to Tipalti, Chen was CEO of Atrica, a carrier Ethernet company that Nokia-Siemens acquired. Before Atrica, Chen was co-founder and CEO of Verix, a provider of business intelligence software. I'm your host, RJ Lumba. We hope you enjoy the show. If you like the episode, click to follow.
RJ Lumba is the managing partner of GrowthCap and the executive chairman of Market Insight Media. He is the host of Growth Investor, a podcast featuring today's best investors, executives, and founders. In the minutes ahead, we'll uncover insights and strategies for accelerating growth and succeeding in business.
Chen, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. It's a delight to be with you.
Thank you for having me.
So I think Tipalti is a well-known company in the fintech space, B2B segment, mid-market businesses. You generate volumes in payments, B2B payments to suppliers. Maybe for the benefit of our audience, can you give us a little bit more about the breadth of the Tipalti platform and operations?
Sure. So we automate finance operations for mid-market companies, everything from managing procurement processes, managing suppliers, compliance, vetting suppliers, invoice capture, PO matching, currency management, payment execution, expense management, cards, reconciliation, just a very broad set of challenges. If you will, anything outside of the ledger itself, the accounting process itself, is game for us. We're not doing everything yet, but we'll grow and continue and do more for the finance leaders. Payments is a crucial part of what we do in delivering the value, in getting the information right, in getting the compliance right, in extracting and allowing the reconciliation, but it's broader than payments alone.
Mm-hmm. Could you give us a sense for maybe some of your marquee clients? Who are some of the big clients that you work with?
Sure. Yeah. You have Amazon Twitch, Roblox, Uplovin, GoDaddy, Wix, Automatic, which is WordPress, the National Geographic, many impressive names.
Excellent. And you've raised significant capital, hundreds of millions of dollars. I think you're, maybe over $700 million, and you've got notable investors like G Squared and Durable. How has it been interacting with these investors? Do they provide a lot of value beyond the financial capital?
In the early days, you expect and you get value from board members and investors when you're a younger company. Today, when we're larger, they provide value, they're helpful, but you're self-reliant mostly. So first of all, several, if not many of our investors are customers of Tipalti. So we love that. And their portfolios, introduction into their portfolios always help. And then in discussions about changes in the market and public market strategies and private market strategies and all of that, that's where they add value. But from an ongoing basis, we are a strong company now and we're self-reliant and we love our investors, but we walk ourselves.
There's multiple elements that make for a successful company. Sometimes it's market timing. You introduced your solution at the appropriate time with how fintech was evolving and B2B interactions. Sometimes it relates to your product is just so good that it's just better than anything offered out there, even though there are very similar solutions. Sometimes it's outspending on marketing. It's being that first mover, having the capital as a strategy. What do you attribute Tipalti's success at?
So, it's really critical to understand the persona we serve, and then we can deduct how we got to be successful. So the persona we serve is the mid-market finance leader. Mid-market for us is companies between 100 employees and 1,000 employees. And if you think about the finance leader in these companies will start to have complexities that are beyond your corner coffee shop. It's maybe multiple legal entities, maybe subsidiaries, currencies, regulators, auditors, multiple approval workflows. The level of complexity increases, but the ability to execute in a finance department in a 200, 300, 400 person company is limited. Resources do not go to the back office in these companies. Resources go towards building the company, customers, products, service, a brand, whatever, not so much the back office. So the finance leader in these companies needs growing in complexity, but minimum ability to execute. They can buy products, but you can buy one product, two products, and they need to deal with that. So when you solve for their pains, you need a solution that is broad, as I mentioned, procurement and invoice capture and payments and expense management and cards, and just a very broad solution. But it also needs to be deep. It's not enough to just check the box and do the minimum viable product, if you will. You need a certain depth for the multi-entity, multi-subsidiary, multi-currency, multilingual approval workflows, audit trails, whatever, that complexity that comes with being a growing company. So breadth and depth are key legs in our product strategy, and simplicity, because these buyers cannot buy multiple products. They need a pre-integrated solution, easy to deploy, easy to change manage, easy to buy, and easy to pay for. That makes for a complex solution to build. You need a solution that has all these elements, breadth, depth, and simplicity. The sales motion is a direct sales, so an expensive sales motion, and you don't have customers who have the ability to pay as much to cover the expensive go-to-market motion. So it's all a very limiting set of requirements that are hard to meet. If you think about it, there aren't many pure play mid-market companies. You have NetSuite and Intact happen to be in the office of the CFO, but you'll be hard pressed to find other pure play mid-market players. There are players who play agnostic, like they're agnostic. They can, Slack. They serve small companies, large companies. They're agnostic. There are pure play small business solutions like, a Bill.com or a Ramp. There are pure play enterprise solutions like a Coupa. Mid-market is really hard for the reasons I mentioned. We, through the way the company developed over the years, eventually got to the place where we had the breadth, depth, and simplicity by evolution of, again, how we got here. And now we're in this perfect position that we have the product, we have the go-to-market, we have the monetization, we can pay the bills for the CAC payback period. And that makes for a very unique solution that is able to serve the mid-market. Others will find it hard to serve the mid-market. So we are with 1 million customers, an opportunity that spans 1 million customers worldwide, very minimally penetrated, about 5% or 6% served today, and a product that solves these people's problems. So it's a product market fit, but in a very unique setting.
You've been a very effective growth CEO, meaning you were able to rapidly expand Tipalti. What do you attribute that to? Had you had prior entrepreneurial experiences, and how did that prepare you for what you're doing now?
Yeah, for the most part, my career was entrepreneurial. I had one stint as a CEO of a company that was a $20-30 million revenue company, 200 people. That was the only thing I started with, an established company. Everything else in my career was ground level and growing the company. I never managed and I never grew a company to this scale, but the experiences definitely are critical in managing the company. I looked at some stats, and the best returns for investors are for founders that are on average 45 years old. I happen to start Tipalti at 45 years old. It's not a given, but, and I know why, what I wasn't ready for when I was a young manager or a young leader and what experiences brought me to where I am now and why I can lead the company today.
How important is it to be introspective about your approach to dealing with people, your approach to leadership of a company, of an evolving organization? Do you find that you've changed the way you lead and interact with folks?
Absolutely. In a way, I think my role changes every 18 months, if you will. Obviously, it's more linear than that, but materially, it changes at that pace. And yeah, every so often I would think, okay, now that we're at this phase, what is actually my role now? Like I understood what it was a couple of years ago, but is it really the same? Because I have this great leader here who covers for what I used to do, and this great leader here who does that, and this great function here. So what's my new role now? And so, yeah, I think it's really important for me. It's important for the executive team. It's important for all managers in a high growth company to invest in themselves and to grow themselves. And being introspective is critical, and recognizing your strengths, your weaknesses, what you need to work on, what you need to compensate for with other people. That's what makes this journey so exciting, that, yeah, I do grow, I do learn, I do invest in everyone around me and in myself to be able to serve this company well while it grows.
Some might say, I've reached a certain degree of success in my life, financially, or maybe just that feeling of achievement. I've built multiple companies. What drives you?
I love the journey. I enjoy the journey. Yeah, it's no longer monetary. Obviously, yeah, I'm good. I'm happy with where I am financially. So yeah, it's definitely not monetary anymore. It's extremely exciting journey. I have a wonderful team I work with. People who we've been blessed with a team that works together for many, many years. Some of my leaders have been with me for 12 years and 11 years and 10 years. Obviously, not everyone can grow and be the leader for those many years. Some reach a ceiling, and we thank them and we appreciate everything they did for us. And we find the leader that is right for that phase of growth. But for me, yeah, it's all about the journey. It's all about growing the company. I'm also a product person by heart, and Tipalti, I like to say, is the gift that keeps on giving for a product person. There's always more to do for the finance leader. There's always more to develop, yet another part of the business that we can help these finance people with. Problem solving, there's plenty of problems in a company to solve. So yeah.
Fantastic. I've heard a lot about entrepreneurs and CEOs like bringing people with them, even from one organization to the next. And sometimes the journey is really about the people you're with. To what degree is it that this is a person I want to spend time with, versus, and it's probably hard to draw the line, versus this is a person that will just do this job effectively?
Yeah, I care about the company too much to let my personal preferences play a role. The person needs to fit culturally. We have a very cohesive culture, very collaborative, modest, if you will, analytical, execution oriented. So the person needs to fit the culture, but we all serve this company. We all work here and they care for this wonderful asset that we've built over the years. So yeah, it's predominantly people who can build and grow and serve the company well.
I've heard an interesting insight about entrepreneurship having just a series of problems to solve every day. There's a new problem that pops up. So you learn how to enjoy problem solving. Do you ever encounter problems that really frustrate you and you think, why am I still dealing with this type of problem after so many years of being an entrepreneur? I should know how to solve this.
You know what? If you think about the past few years with COVID, and then, now the financial pressures, the bank collapse before that, the SVB and yet another bank, the name eludes me. Yeah, we get curveballs thrown at us at a fast pace these last few years. I'd be happy if these curveballs never happened? Yes. But I also thrive on dealing with these curveballs. I maybe enjoy is the wrong term, but yeah, it's part of being a leader of a company is to help the company deal with these challenges and with these curveballs. And I think, yeah, I enjoy actually. I'd rather they didn't happen, but when they do, I enjoy dealing with them and solving them and helping the company cross those hurdles.
Is there a particular challenge now that you spend most of your time thinking through?
My job is kind of simpler these days because we have a clear vision, we have a clear strategy. It's all about execution. So, yeah, it's about keeping everyone rowing in the same direction. And I think we've built the processes and the rhythms that allow us to do that in a very effective way. And it's mostly about execution. We know what we need to do for our customers. We are already doing that. We know what's the next few things we want to do for our customers. We know how to reach more customers. We work on that. Maybe, you know what I'll tell you, yeah, now that I think about it, people talk about the S curve, the fact that the adoption, the market adoption follows an S curve. It doesn't always follow an S curve. So we are working hard to reach finance leaders and to educate them and to allow them to benefit from the value of a solution like Tipalti. I really want the S curve. You know, people say fish start jumping into the boat. I really hope that we'll reach that S curve. I think we're still in the early adopter phase of this market. As I said, 5% penetration. So there's still more to do. It's exciting. We have a decade of growth ahead of us. But yeah, I think I'll enjoy the fish start jumping into the boat.
Well, you clearly explained that you're in it for the journey, for building the company with a great group of people. Curious, are there other journeys, like maybe personally, that you really enjoy? These could be like hobbies or, other aspects outside business.
Yeah. So I'm the chairman of a non-for-profit in Israel that also it's about the team, right? Has a phenomenal team, phenomenal leader for that non-for-profit with three core, my wife and my philanthropy purposes have three core reasons. One is closing socioeconomic gaps in Israel. Two is protecting Israeli democracy, which today we know in the last 18 months have been under some attack. And third is environmental causes. And I'm working with a phenomenal team that does really exciting stuff. So that's one part of what I do. And I do have hobbies. I'm a private pilot. To be honest, I haven't flown since COVID. Until COVID, I flew regularly every other week. I'm a poker player. So when I travel, and I travel a lot, I like to find a nice poker game to spend my evenings. Yeah, so yeah, I have my hobbies.
Another question I had for you was advice you would give to another entrepreneur. And let's say because you're in this phase where you're in this rapid growth phase and, fairly well-established company, what would you give to the entrepreneur who's about to embark on that rapid growth, rapid scaling phase?
So in that point where they have product market fit and they're about to start scaling, yeah. So yeah, it's a different skill set. It's a different skill set. So what I've encountered was the people who cracked the code of go to market fit. How do we go to market? How do we package the product? How do we price the product? How do we message? Those people are not necessarily the people who will scale, who will be able to hire in volumes, train in volumes, motivate in volumes, compensate well or find the right compensation models in volumes, build the systems and the processes. So, as I said, some leaders reach a certain ceiling. Again, they did wonders for the company, and I will always be appreciative. But you need to be smart and know when a leader hit a ceiling and replace them, when a function needs to be built. So that's one thing I would say. And the other is that once you hit product market fit and you figured that it's a scale time, yeah, you need the funding for that. It's an expensive exercise. Go and fund for it. If you have the proof points, fund, put the right people in the seat, and go, go, go.
Excellent. Last question is, can you tell us about a person who has had a profound influence on you?
Profound, obviously, parents, my mother definitely goes without saying. I think a person in my professional life that there were two people. One of my first leaders right out of business school was really pivotal in showing me how to create a place for someone. He trusted me and he created a place for me, an environment for me to grow and facilitated my growth in that company. As an entrepreneur, the other person that no doubt I look at and I say, okay, that's how no ceiling looks like is Elon Musk. What he does is second to none in having no boundaries and thinking outside of his world, literally. So yeah, I always get inspired from his entrepreneurial mind.
Excellent. Well, that's a good note to end on. Well, Chen, I want to thank you again for taking the time. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you very much.